Smart women do not allow destiny swapping. Smart women do not allow their destinies to be swapped or tampered with. Now, this is a very powerful subject, ladies. This subject is a subject that if I were you, I would either save the video so that you can take notes, because the gems that I'm about to drop, you guys are going to be like, what? I didn't even know this could happen. It can. Surprise. So when it comes to destiny swapping, I feel like destiny swapping is something that I see women try to do more than men because of how their competitive nature. There are two types of destiny swapping, ladies. Spiritual destiny swapping and physical destiny swapping. But at the end of the day, they are still trying to swap destinies with you. Let's talk about spiritual destiny swapping. Spiritual destiny swapping is when someone goes into the spiritual world and starts doing incantations to see if they can take your wealth, your favor, your beauty, your intelligence. They want to tap into you spiritually to see if they can swap places with you. That's why there are a lot of women who are struggling financially and they think it's a physical problem. And it's not a physical problem, it's a spiritual problem. There's someone in your family, your friends, or someone in your past who knew you were supposed to be rich. Riches is in your destiny, and they saw it. They saw it. And as a result of them seeing it, spiritually, they did different incantations to see if they can take it. And that's why you're struggling and you're like, why is this happening to me? Well, somebody on the other side of the coin is trying to take your money from you. That's more of a spiritual destiny swap. An example of this is I've never been that good with, the whole princess stories and stuff, Disney princess stories, but was it Snow White, where the evil woman was trying to get her to steal her beauty, and because her beauty is very captivating. So yeah, I think that was Snow White that was asking, who, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? That gave me chills. Okay, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? There are some women in your family and friends and in your past who were saying spiritually to themselves, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And then your picture appears. And they're like, well, damn, okay, so she's the fairest of them all. She's the one with the favor of God on her life. She's the one with the beauty. She's the one with the intelligence. She's the one with the ambition. Okay, she's my target. And that's why your life is not going the way you want it to go. Listen, you guys, my channel is not all fun and games. Okay? I come on here and I talk about real stuff. I would love to sit here and do reviews on different makeup brands and lip gloss brands, and I'd love to sit here and obsess over men and how to attain a man. I'm sorry, that's just not my brand. I'm talking to you guys about stuff that can change the trajectory of your life. So Snow White, I don't know what the name of that lady was. If you guys know the name of the lady in Snow White that was after Snow White, then you can comment. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with Disney stories, but that is a version of destiny swapping. That's spiritual destiny swapping. And that's something that women do, but smart women don't allow destiny swapping to happen. And then we talk about physical destiny swapping. So what's a physical destiny swap? You meet a girl, right? and you guys develop a friendship. You're like, oh wow, this girl's cool. I really like her. Like I like hanging out with her. She's cool. She's nice. She's fun. This is great. I like this. And you start hanging out with this new girl, right? Now all of a sudden, her hair color has changed. Soon after you change your hair color, now her hair color has changed. Soon after you decide to go to cosmetology school, she's inputting her application as we speak. Soon as you go and purchase your first nice car, whatever, listen, some people, a nice car to them is a brand new Toyota. Some people, a nice car to them is a brand new Range Rover. Whatever floats your boat, I don't care. People should just do what they're happy, what makes them happy. But what you got, she just got now, right? I do not allow women to come into my life and think they're going to destiny swap with me, whether that's physical or spiritual. Because baby, your girl is on game. I don't allow it in either way. It's not a form of flattery when a woman that you're friends with or a person in your family is trying to do everything that you do to the T. Oh, well, copying is the biggest form of flattery. If someone's copying you, you should be happy. You should. Ma'am, that is dangerous when someone is trying to replicate your every step. I don't know why you find that positive or uplifting. That's dangerous. Okay? So there are spiritual destiny swapping where people access the spiritual realm to try to take what's for you. Okay? And I'm from the island, so I know all about that stuff. I know all about family members, aunts, cousins, and then, what the type of things they will try to do to see if they can delay you or steal what's meant for you in collecting the wealth of different family members. That one person is collecting the wealth of everybody and looking at your star and spying on your star and collecting. That's not going to work with me. Okay? And it's the same thing with physical destiny swapping. Who wants to deal with a woman who's going to come in your life and try to be you and try to replicate you and try to be another version of you? We don't have time for that. And I think every woman with spiritual destiny swapping, that really depends on your life experience. You got to look at your life and ask yourself if it adds up. But when it comes to physical destiny swapping, majority of women, I think, have experienced physical destiny swapping where you become friends with a girl and she literally wants to live in your body. It's just like that really creepy song that Beyonce made with the poem at the end saying her sternum, a cane, her this, a cap, her that, a dress. That is how some women feel about you. They want you. They want to be you. They want to be an exact replica. They want to replicate your DNA and be you. That's a form of physical destiny swapping, which I don't allow, and which I also make other women aware of, so you guys don't allow physical destiny swapping. The minute a lady comes into your life, ladies, and she's trying to, I'm not saying it's okay if my friend has a really good smell and perfume and I'm like, girl, I love that perfume, that smells good, what's the name? And I go to Nordstrom and buy it. Come on. I don't live in the extreme. That's obviously not a problem. But I mean when that person is trying to replicate everything about you down to the point where you introduce this girl to your man and she wants him too. She wants to sleep with him too. She just wants your life. And I'm going to give you guys some very subtle examples of physical destiny swapping. I actually was going to leave this for the end of the video, but I'll just plug it in now. So we already talked about spiritual destiny swapping, which is much more complex. That is usually someone who is accessing the second heaven, third heaven, fifth heaven, fourth heaven, just going through things the spiritual route. So that I don't know much about because I don't do that, but I know it exists. Okay, and that's a whole other topic. I can't go into too much detail as to how they destiny swap, because that's more like spiritual based and I don't really know, but I can really talk on how the physicalities, like physical destiny swapping. So let's take some examples of what physical destiny swapping looks like. A good example, and if you guys hear something in the background, that's me looking at my notes. A good example of a physical destiny swap would be Aaliyah and Beyonce. And this is all allegedly. When I would look at videos of Aaliyah was chosen, in case you guys didn't know, just like Selena was. Aaliyah was chosen. Aaliyah is beautiful, she's bold, and she's smart. Like, she reminds me of Left Eye. Aaliyah and Left Eye have very similar energies. They have very similar auras, very similar spirits. And I know a lot of Christian people who may watch me may say, oh my God, she's talking about energy. She's talking about spirits. Oh my God, this isn't godly. Listen, it's really all the same thing, but they're named differently. Let's stop being over religious, okay? Spirits, spirits, energies, vibes, auras, they are all synonyms of each other, okay? So Aaliyah and Selena, Left Eye, all these women had the same energies, in my opinion. I can pick up on energy very quickly. And when I look at Aaliyah, she reminds me of Left Eye. Aaliyah was not just some pretty, talented young little girl. Aaliyah was chosen. She's smart. It's like she was on another planet. When I watch her interviews and I look in her eyes, and you know how they say the eyes is the gateway to the soul? When I would look at Aaliyah's eyes during her interviews, I could just tell that she wasn't normal. But not bad normal. Like, I could just tell that her frequency was so high and she was on a whole other dimension spiritually than most people. When I look in her eyes, if you really are an intuitive person, when you get off this video, look at videos of Aaliyah. YouTube videos of Aaliyah's interviews, and you will look at her, and it's so scary because a lot of times when I would look at her and I would look in her eyes, I would sense the same energy that I carry. Like, I could tell that she was just on another playing field spiritually. Like, I could tell that she was here to do a lot more than music. Unfortunately, they didn't let her get to that point. But I could just tell from looking into her eyes that she was on a whole other level than the people around her. And not in a narcissistic way, but like, you could just tell, like, there was a lot more to her just than her music. I could tell that there was more to her spirit. And women like Aaliyah, I felt like with Left Eye, when she would sit and she would talk about CMOS and she would talk about, it's like, this girl's really not just about music. This girl's really about, she's very spiritually in tune. This isn't some regular old person. So people like to try and destiny swap with people like that because they think that either by taking you out or taking your place, they can be you. So my first example of a physical destiny swap would be Aaliyah and Beyonce. I love Beyonce. Actually, no, let me not say I love her. I don't know her. But I do like her. I don't know her as a person, but I like the way that she keeps people out of her personal business. And I like the way that Beyonce has a really good work ethic. So many alleged conspiracies about Aaliyah. I heard this other man online, I forgot his name. He's a spiritual teacher. And he was actually saying that people were trying to do intimate intercourse rituals with her when she passed. How did she pass? Was it really a plane crash? I don't know. I'm a big conspiracy person. I don't know. But this person said that, they were doing different acts with her when she passed. And what are they doing? They're taking her destiny. They're swapping destinies. They're trying to have her energy rub off on them so they can become more wealthy in the industry and so they can move on. I'm from the islands. So in the islands, this is called chance. when someone is trying to take your chance, they're trying to take your favor that you got on you, the light that God put in you. They're trying to unscrew the light bulb from within you, take your light bulb and screw it into their light bulb holder. That's what destiny swapping is. So Aaliyah and Beyonce was a big example of destiny swapping. If Aaliyah was in the game and if Emery was in the game, Beyonce would not be able to be where she is right now. So they had to get those women out of the way. Okay, so that's the whole situation with that. Let's move on. Another example of a physical destiny swap that they tried. Let me tell you, you can't destiny swap with everyone. You can destiny swap with people who are not aware of what destiny swap is, or women who are not necessarily aware what destiny swapping is, but they're on game with when someone's trying to take their spot. You can't destiny swap with everyone. Another example of a physical destiny swap is with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. That destiny swap failed terribly. Oh my God. That's when I realized Nicki Minaj is not regular. And please don't comment any negativity about Nicki Minaj. That will definitely get you blocked on my channel. They tried to do a destiny swap with Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is way too smart for that type of stuff to happen. She's aware, not just physically, but spiritually. Another example of physical destiny swapping is when someone tries to bring someone in to take your place, to take your spot, to take your wealth, to take your position. That's a physical destiny swap. There was a video where they spoke about how there was some conspiracy that a group of people were conspiring against Nicki Minaj to see if they could dismantle her position in the industry, and that's why Cardi B was introduced. This is all allegedly. I found it very strange based on what I heard that Cardi B, from what I heard allegedly, I don't know if it's true, but this is stuff that women do all the time. I heard that Cardi B was like obsessed with getting on the motorsports song with Nicki Minaj. You hate Nicki. You think she's so mean. She's so this, but yet you want to be on a track with her, right? Why do you want to be on a track with someone you don't like? But that's something that women do all the time. They do like you. They just don't want to show you that they like you. They want to admire you behind the scenes while trying to take your spot. So she begged to be on the motorsport track. And right after Motorsport came out, she was doing interviews bashing Nicki. You got to be on a single with one of the top female rappers in the entire world. And instead of being grateful, you turn around and try to bash her and destroy her reputation, which is what I talk about on TikTok. When women are jealous of you, the first thing they do is try to destroy your reputation. That was a form of destiny swapping. That's why Nicki Minaj's career is still solid, flowing. Every single single she puts out charts. Her albums chart. She's on tour. She cannot be stopped. They brought Cardi B in to try to put a stop to her. They failed terribly. Nicki Minaj is no dummy when it comes to destiny swapping. She knows that she was trying to swap Cardi B was trying to swap destinies with her, or take her spot or take her position in some way. It didn't work because she understands the story of destiny swapping. And she's like, I'm going to stay in my position. I'm going to work harder. I'm going to push myself further, and I'm going to cross my T's and dot my I's. Another sign that someone is trying to physically destiny swap with you, ladies, is when they're trying to replicate you. Many people came in the industry trying to wear their hair like Nicki Minaj, get the same colored wigs, try to put out the same flow. That's all a form of not spiritual destiny swapping, but physical destiny swapping. I would like to take an example. I'm not going to name their names. It was two girls who were, I'm not going to name if they were artists. I'm not going to name if they were on reality TV. I'm not going to name if they were rapper baby mamas. I'm not going to name, but they are public figures. And they started kicking it. Two girls, right? Two public figures. They started kicking it. Maybe you guys will know who I'm talking about. Maybe you won't. Two public figures. They started kicking it. And one of the public figures noticed that the other public figure was trying to replicate her style, right? And the other public figure was trying to appear in a style that she's never appeared while trying to replicate the other public figure's style. And that public figure clocked that destiny swap so quickly. She ended that friendship with that person so quickly, and it literally blew up on the internet and it blew up on the Shade Room. And a lot of you ladies may try to disagree and say, oh, well, I don't really think that. I admire the public figure that did that because she's very aware of how women will try to get close to you to replicate your style and replicate your flow and use you for character development, and she wasn't having it. So she clocked it very quickly and ended that friendship very quickly when she realized what this other person was trying to do. And it usually starts off small, like the same shoes, then the same hair. Then it's the same car, then it's the same house, then it's the same profession. Then it gets to the point where they develop an obsession with your kids, an obsession with your family, and now they want to be in bed with your husband. It only gets worse over time with the physical destiny swap. So I'm happy that that public figure, and when that public figure is, okay. So pay attention to your life to see, ladies, if you are under a destiny swap. Physical destiny swapping is super easy to recognize because it's like the girl is going to start doing everything that you do. Like it's so obvious. That's so easy to clock and move on from. But a spiritual destiny swap is when you look at your life and you're like, the effort that I've put into my life doesn't show the effort. The hard work I put into my life isn't showing the results of that hard work. You make money, but you can't keep it. Every time you're happy, something goes wrong. Every time you meet a good man, all of a sudden he just ghosts you. Your destiny is being swapped, honey. Your destiny is being swapped by somebody. I don't know, ladies. It could be anybody. I'm the wrong person to email and ask, who do you think is... I do not know, girl. It could be an old coworker. It can be somebody from your past, somebody you went to middle school with. You do not know who's doing it. But you just have to figure out if your life is a result of your efforts. And if it's not, it's time to dive into spiritual warfare. The next thing, smart women don't allow destiny swapping. Copying is not a compliment. I see copying as annoying. It's like, get your own life and get your own style. You know what I mean? Like, develop yourself and find who you are. Copying is not a compliment. It may appear as a compliment at first. But then you're going to realize this doesn't feel good. Like, I hate that this, like, you feel like you cannot move without it being replicated. That doesn't feel good, at least to me. I don't like it. Copying is not a compliment. Smart women don't allow destiny swapping. Next thing, think about Elena on the Vampire Diaries. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Vampire Diaries. If you're into like teenage shows and stuff and series, teenage drama-filled series, the Vampire Diaries is not like Twilight. It's 15 times better, okay? I'll probably start watching it again this weekend. Elena on the Vampire Diaries, so many people tried to swap destinies with her on that show. If you watch the Vampire Diaries, every major creature, every major doppelganger, every major vampire, every major witch, every major creature that was like a hybrid type of creature, or every person that was like from in a different dimension, the minute they would meet Elena Gilbert, they would try to destiny swap with her. Because she was, what did they call her on the show? They called her, I forgot what they called her on the show, but it was another word for the chosen one. So her blood, oh, there she was. She was the, what did they call her? I think they called her the Cure. I don't know what they called her. They called her, there was something in her blood that can cure like vampirism. And there was something in her blood that can cure, I forgot what they called her. It wasn't the chosen one, but they called her something. I don't remember the word, the term. If you guys watch the Vampire Diaries, comment the term of what they called Elena. But because Elena was so special, every single type of force, type of vampire, type of werewolf, type of witch, type of warlock, they were all after her blood. They wanted her life so they can drain her of her blood and use it. That is a form of destiny swapping. When people see how potent and how powerful you are, whether it's in your home, in your friend group, in the workplace, a man you're dating, they see the power that you carry physically and spiritually, and they want to take it for themselves. There was an episode of the Vampire Diaries where Elena, there was some werewolf hybrid guy. His name was Klaus, and he was after her life because she was the cure. She was the walking cure. And he ended up kidnapping her, and she woke up and she was connected to some IV bag that was like draining her blood. So basically he was draining her blood. And in the episode, she was like nauseous. Her eyes were blurry. She couldn't really see. She couldn't get up and walk because her blood was being drained. And he was draining her blood in like buckets because her blood is the cure. Her destiny is the answer. So destiny swapping is something that I wanted to talk to you ladies about because it's physically important to know about, and it's spiritually important to know about because your destiny is special, and that's why you experience so much persecution. And when I watch the Vampire Diaries, I'm like, dang, whoever put this show together is like, I feel like I could produce a show like that. Because whoever put that show together is so spiritually aware and so spiritually in tune that they know this is really what happens in the real world. It may not be with vampires and stuff, but this is how it works spiritually in the real world. And she was the cure. And another person on the show that I think a lot of people tried to swap destinies with, a lot of people tried to swap destinies with Bonnie on the show. Bonnie was a high priestess on the show, and she was very powerful, very beautiful, very kind, very into like nature and balance and just doing the good. She was always doing good on the show. But so many people tried to withdraw power from her and swap destinies with her, to the point where on the show, somebody actually made Bonnie what's the word? You guys can actually comment this. On the show, they made Bonnie the anchor. That's how strong her destiny was. They made her the anchor, meaning every person that passes away has to pass through her, and she has to feel the pain they experienced when they passed. Somebody swapped destinies with Bonnie, and they made Bonnie become the anchor. So when you have a powerful aura, ladies, and you have a powerful energy, and you have God has a big plan for your life. God has big plans for you. Don't think that people around you don't see it. Don't think people online don't see it. Don't think people at your church don't see it. Don't think the man you're dating doesn't see it. They see it. And they will try to withdraw on it, and they will try to swap destinies with you in some way. I remember, oh my God, I'm about to go into some crazy stories here, you guys. You guys are going to be shocked. Ladies, when you have a desire to do something, whether that's be a major hairstylist, or you have a desire to open your own lash company, or you're just like on it. You're like, I'm going to build this business. And all of a sudden, you don't have the ambition, goal, or drive to do that thing, but your friend that was close to you does. Your cousin all of a sudden does. You just experience a physical destiny swap. They took the desire and ambition you had to do that thing because they know you would become a millionaire off it. They took it for themselves, and now they're using your destiny to, have their life work for them. Now, copying you, pursuing your ideals, obsessing over you is a red flag, ladies, when you're dealing with other women and other men. You know, I've heard about some women who are doing good in business, and all of a sudden her boyfriend or man wants to start doing the same thing and starts competing with her while he's at it. That is dangerous, ladies. Okay. That's what that person's doing, ladies. You guys, ladies, the more you listen to my channel, I will tell you this right now, we are in July. The more you listen to my channel, by January, you're going to be a completely different person, and your entire sector of people around you will change, because you're going to be so ascended. The stuff that I'm teaching you, you're going to be so ascended that you're not going to be normal like everybody else anymore. The more you take in my content, the more you're changing positively, you're growing, you're sprouting, you're developing. You're not going to be able to be around the same people in January after listening to my content, because you're going to be so spiritually intact. You're going to be so spiritually put on that nothing and no one can get past you after listening to my content. Sometimes, okay, so sometimes people will make sacrifices to destiny swap. Oh my God, I'm going to give you guys an example of something that was so freaky. So I had a family member, and this family member was in communication with another distant relative in another country. And this distant relative in another country started having complications with their health, right? This distant relative would always keep calling the relative I'm close to and saying, hey, oh my God, please pray for me, offer your prayers. I'm going through a lot. This is really difficult. I need a prayer. Hold me in your prayer. Keep me in your prayer. Mention me in your prayers, all this. Do you guys know that the same thing that family member, like the physical health battles that they were battling, started falling on the family member that they asked to pray for them? And when this family member kept telling me, oh, I have to go to the hospital for this. I have to go to the hospital because of that. I have to go visit the doctor because this happening. This just happened to my son. My son just got sick. And I looked at my family member with this very strange face, and I said, stop. My family member is like, what do you mean? I said, stop answering her calls. And my family member is like, what do you mean? I said, that distant relative, stop answering your calls. And they're like, why? I'm like, she's destiny swapping with you. She's trying to swap destinies with you. And she's like, you sound crazy. What do you mean? I'm like, did you not notice that every illness that she was diagnosed with, you got diagnosed with a week later? And every time you get diagnosed, she gets a better report from the doctor? She's swapping destinies with you. You need to block her. I don't know what type of incantation she involves herself with, but she's trying to destiny swap with you. And this same person's got sick, and then this relative's son developed the same illness. And when I was explaining it to them, I'm like, this is the spirit realm that we're dealing with right now. She's destiny swapping with you. Block her, stop communicating with her. Whatever she got herself into, she has to deal with. She doesn't get to swap destinies to run away from whatever karma that she has to deal with for whatever she put her hands in. And that was a part of my spiritual ascension, my spiritual awareness, and me growing spiritually. You know, God has allowed me to see certain things so that I can expose the information to the masses, which is you guys. I said, she's destiny swapping. Don't do it. And there are certain people who will sacrifice people who are around them. That's why you have to make sure you pray, and you pray to God, and you ask God for protection so that people cannot sacrifice you. There's another rapper. I don't even want to go into detail with it, but every person that works for that person's label ends up getting unalived. What do you think that means? I want you ladies to open your eyes on what's going on around you and stop living your life in sleep mode. I can talk about these spiritual things all day. So please, ladies, don't allow anybody to destiny swap with you. Be aware. No one can take your spot. Preserve your spot. Preserve what you do. Preserve who you are. Self-preservation. I love you guys. Bye.